Recorded Books presents Far From Home by Danielle Steel, narrated by Jim Frangione. To my children, Beatty, Trevor, Todd, Nick, Samantha, Victoria and Vanessa, Max and Zara, may you never be far from home or from each other, and I will be forever near you, heart and soul, with all my love for you, forever. With all my love, Mom, D.S. Chapter 1. It was a glorious, warm, sunny day in July 1944, driving back to Berlin from Brandenburg, where Ariel von Auspeck's husband's family Schloss was located. It was a 16th-century castle, large, drafty in the winter, and expensive to maintain. But Gregor von Auspeck was deeply attached to it. As an only son, he had inherited it when his parents died. Gregor and Ariel spent weekends there year-round, and part of every summer. They usually had gone to the south of France for a few weeks in the summer, too, in honor of Ariel's roots. Her father was German, and her mother French. Ariel was an only child. She had grown up in Germany, but had strong ties to France. Her mother had moved to Berlin from Paris when she married Ariel's father. Ariel's parents were aristocrats, too. Her mother spoke to her in French, so she was fluent. Both Ariel's family and Gregor's were from Berlin. Ariel was a slim, blonde, blue-eyed beauty with a great figure. She was 44 years old. Gregor was 5 years older, tall, athletic, with dark hair and blue eyes. Their families had been friends, and Gregor was the dashing older man when she fell in love with him at 20 and married him at 21. They had been married for 23 very happy years. Their daughter, Mariana, was 22, and had recently become the wife of Jürgen Springer, a young lieutenant in the Luftwaffe, an ace pilot, and a delightful boy Ariel and Gregor both approved of. The wedding had been lavish, held in their Berlin home in the Zehlendorf district. It was one of the largest, most beautiful homes in the city. They had a ballroom, and there were 300 guests at Mariana's wedding, many of the men in military uniform, and the women in exquisite ball gowns. Gregor was a colonel, retired from the German army after an incident at the beginning of the war. He had been accidentally shot, and his left arm remained stiff and his shoulder permanently damaged. It had spared him the agonizing decision of resigning from the army, which he had been considering at the time. He was fiercely opposed to Hitler's policies and his anti-Semitic programs. The accident had given him the perfect excuse to retire, and had spared him from taking an overt position in opposition to the Führer, which would have been dangerous. Instead, he was able to remove himself gracefully from Hitler's army. Ariel and Gregor had a son as well, Victor. He was 19 now, and had been an earnest and eager member of the Hitler Jugend, the Hitler Youth, since he was 14, just before the war began. He had finally been able to enlist at 18. He was fighting for the fatherland in Poland, and his parents hadn't seen him in several months. Both their children were loyal supporters of the Third Reich. Mariana as the wife of a young ace pilot in the Air Force, and Victor thrilled to be in the army at last. Much to his father's chagrin, Victor had been exposed to Nazi propaganda throughout his teens. They had had many heated arguments before Victor enlisted. He was young and naive, and swept up by the policies of the Nazi Party that he'd grown up with. Ariel had lost her parents young. Her mother had died in the Spanish flu pandemic when Ariel was 18. Gregor didn't know Ariel well then, although he'd met her, and his parents always said what a lovely, elegant, kind woman her mother was, and that Ariel was a great deal like her. She said that her father had died of a broken heart after her mother's death. He was more than 20 years older than his wife, and died a few years after Ariel and Gregor were married. Gregor soon became the center of Ariel's universe, even more so after she lost her father, and she was a devoted mother from the moment Mariana was born. Gregor and Ariel both adored their children. He had never had a profession. He oversaw his investments and ran the extensive property around the Schloss, with many tenant farmers. He was a nobleman through and through, a famously skilled rider, and attended many hunts.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?